Frankly, I have no idea what this means, except that the future of Beetlejuice just got a whole lot more interesting. Hey friends, what is up? My name is Katherine and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're gonna talk about the whole being dead thing. Again. Now, I covered and explained the whole Beetlejuice closing controversy a little while back, so if you're new here or if you missed that video, I'll link it in the description down below. That video should be able to answer all of your questions and it'll explain why Beetlejuice will have an insanely difficult time relocating. When Beetlejuice announced that they would be evicted from the Wintergarden Theater this June, my hopes were kind of immediately crushed. You know, I'm a pretty optimistic person. I try to find the silver lining to everything, try to look at the glass half full, but I'm also realistic and I know how difficult it is what Beetlejuice is trying to do. So I've honestly been just kind of mentally preparing for the worst outcome. But I read something odd a couple days ago, and believe it or not, it gave me a little bit of hope. Now, I don't want to get your hopes up. I have no concrete evidence, but I did find something weird. So question of the day, what do you think is the future of Beetlejuice the musical? I'll explain more what that means in this video. So this past weekend, Alex Brightman appeared on a Beetlejuice panel at Broadway Con. During the panel, Nancy Coleman, a reporter from the New York Times, tweeted something. In fact, Broadway World made a whole article about this tweet. That's clue number one to me that something is weird. Nancy Coleman tweeted, "Beetlejuice folks address the sandworm in the room, being evicted from the Wintergarden to make room for the Music Man. There is absolutely no reason to give up hope," Alex Brightman said. "Until we know anything further, it is not the end of Beetlejuice on June 6th. What? That seems like a bold statement, right? Alex, do not get my hopes up like that. I am very surprised that not only did he say that on a panel, but a New York Times reporter tweeted about it, and then Broadway World made a whole article about it. The conspiracy theories are blowing my mind right now. So let's go ahead and discuss what Alex could have been talking about. Option number one, they found a theater. They got the money, they found a new home. If that's the case, my guess that they didn't announce it formally is that they're still in negotiations, or they're still putting the money together, or there might be something in their contract saying that they're not allowed to announce where the show is going to be moved, because that might hurt advance ticket sales over at the Wintergarden. You know, with everyone rushing to get those last minute tickets to see Beetlejuice a couple more times before it closes, if it's not going anywhere, those ticket sales will probably slow down a little. But the idea of Beetlejuice being successfully able to transfer theaters with all of the odds stacked against them, that'd be pretty cool. Option number two, Alex could be alluding to the national tour. A national tour of Beetlejuice the musical has been slated to launch in fall of 2021. Although cities, dates, and the cast haven't been announced yet, maybe they're already in early negotiations for that tour. I have no idea if any cast members will be reprising their roles for the tour, but sometimes when a cast is very tight-knit and their show kind of closes preemptively, they might be more inclined to go on tour or at least do part of it. However, I'm not sure how reasonable it would be to have the whole cast go on tour. For instance, you have people who are parents, people who have spouses, people who have whole lives in New York. Going on tour effectively means putting all of that on hold for a year. Option number three, Alex could be alluding to the heavily rumored West End transfer. A London production of Beetlejuice has been teased and rumored and discussed so much in the community that I thought it was actually happening until right now when I was doing research to put together this video. I couldn't find any substantial evidence that a London production of Beetlejuice was for sure happening, but it might make sense. A Broadway production closing early due to unfair circumstances and a hardcore fan base begging for a production, maybe it could find a home on the West End. Option number four, he could be alluding to a pro shot or a movie musical deal. Personally, I think that option is the one that is least likely to happen, even with the recent announcement of Mean Girls the musical, the movie. I've discussed this topic a little bit, but it's definitely something I want to deep dive more into in the future. But long story short, pro shots are so expensive. It's not just a matter of setting up a couple of cameras and filming the show and distributing it. It's about rights. who owns the material. It's a very complicated process and involves a lot of legalities. Additionally, Beetlejuice still isn't financially viable. Yes, they're doing significantly better than they were in the past, but they're still not where they need to be. Option number 5 of what Alex could have been talking about on that panel, maybe he's talking about the licensing rights. Now, if you didn't hear, MTI acquired the rights to Beetlejuice the musical. That means that in the future, your local regional theater, community theater, school theater, summer camp might be able to produce Beetlejuice. So when Alex said it's not the end of Beetlejuice on June 6th, maybe he meant that the legacy will live on through future productions. Option number 6. I don't know how I feel about this option, because it's not what I want to hear, but it might be the truth. Maybe he was just being optimistic. Maybe there is no concrete evidence. Maybe there's nothing going on behind the scenes. Maybe the New York Times reporter just got really excited about that quote, and same with Broadway World, and maybe we're all just really hoping for good news to come out of this, and maybe there's not. There might be good news in the future, but we just don't know. Again, there are so many negotiations and so many factors and contracts and info that we're not privy to as fans. I really don't know what else to say. It's a really tricky topic, and I'm interested to see how it unfolds, and I'm interested to hear your perspective. What do you think Alex Brightman was talking about on that panel? Do you think there is something concrete going on, or do you think it's just optimism and we're all reading way too much into it because we're just dying for a piece of good news? What the heck is going on? Any and all thoughts are welcome in the comments down below. Also, if you're new here, hit subscribe, join the musical theater internet cult. Also, I have a second channel where I vlog. I've been vlogging a ton lately, so I have lots of fun vlogs coming out soon. But I hope you guys are having a great day. I love you so, so much. Break a leg, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!